What's up, guys? Yours truly is back here with a book review for you. What else am I going to talk about, right? All right, Thor, Volume 4, guys. I'm sure you guys... Here, let me just show you Volume 4, To Wake the MANGOG, right? Hold on. That's Thor 156, and this right here is Thor 157. Both of these covers deal with the MANGOG, which is what this title is all about. The four-part MANGOG storyline, which went from 154 to 157. The book itself goes from 154 to 174. I started it yesterday and finished it today. I read the first 8 issues yesterday and the last 13 today. 13 issues. So, yeah. So I read a lot today. I'm going to put this right down here. So what do we have here, guys? Like I said, we have the 4-part MANGOG storyline from 154 to 157. Ulick, the troll, decides to stupidly unleash this creature that Odin had locked away because this is like the one thing that can kill all Asgardians and destroy the world, destroy the universe. And what happens? Of course, he's released by Ulick, who thinks he has a an ally, and they initially touted Ulick as the unstoppable troll that will destroy all Asgardians, but now he's met his match, and the MANGOG just kicks his ass, and Ulick hightails it out of there. That's like in the first issue, 154. But it just takes Thor, it takes Baldur the Brave, the Warriors 3, which includes Fandral, Hogan, Volstagg, Sif. She even tries to help, and nobody can defeat the MANGOG. The MANGOG is probably one of the stupidest villains ever, and I don't know why they made him the all-powerful, but he was. So those are the first 4 issues. 158 is a retelling of it basically reprints Journey into Mystery 83 in its entirety. We get 7 new pages, but it's bookended by new material, new dialogue, new artwork. But basically, Stan, because he's the editor, Stan decides to cram the entirety of Journey into Mystery 83 into 158 of Thor, and that's that. But it begs the question, which is answered in 159, who is Don Blake? Who is Thor? Why are there 2 separate guys? It turns out, and I think I knew this, but for some reason I didn't know, or maybe I pretended that I didn't know. Odin had apparently wanted to teach Thor humility, because Thor is brash and, he's a god and he thinks he's all that. Basically, he broke a royal truce between Odin and the Storm Giants, and it was like, oops, my bad. So Odin's like, okay, Thor, I'm going to teach you a lesson. When you learn this lesson, that's when you become Thor again. So he's always been Thor, and Don Blake was the alter ego. And it was interesting, though, given that this is the late 60s. I just like finally, Stanley introduces pathos and some kind of psychological background, finally, because it's not just good versus evil. He actually decides, hey, I'm going to answer this question, because I guess a lot of people were writing and saying, hey, why are there 2 different guys? Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Don Blake or Thor? So he answers that in 159. And so Don Blake is the creation that Odin created. And he was like, yeah, how come I don't remember my life as Don Blake growing up? And it's like, well, he created him at the start of his college years when he studied to become a doctor. That was the beginning of Don Blake. And then, of course, he led him to find the cane, which was Mjolnir, and that jogged his memory to become Thor again. So that was that. Then we get a very interesting verses, And it's always Galactus versus somebody really cool. Galactus versus the High Evolutionary. Galactus versus who was it that he fought that was like cool? Not Tyrant, not from Silver Surfer. It was from Silver Surfer. What was it? It was well, it was the Elders of the Universe. That was that. Well, anyway, I mean, it always seems Galactus is in some epic fight with somebody. In this one, he is fighting Ego, the Living Planet, the Bioverse from the Black Galaxy. 160 and 161. I think also 162. I forget, but no. It was just 160, 161. Ego versus Galactus. Galactus needs to feed because man's got to eat, right? And he goes into the Black Galaxy, and Thor, with the recorder, he's summoned by the Rigelian colonizers who at first tried to conquer Earth, and including Tana Nile. Tana Nile returns, and she's like, "Oh, please, Thor, help us." And so he does, and he basically helps save Ego from Galactus. It's pretty good. I'll show you guys some artwork in a minute. Then we get some 162. What was it? That's where I started today. 162 all the way through 174. So from 154 to 161 I read yesterday. And then 162 was Odin. Now Odin has this mission. He has his personal mission where he has to find Galactus before he eats Asgard, or I don't know. They're not. They probably did say why he wanted it, but I just was like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. But Odin has a mission where he wants Thor to get Galactus back. Thor is dealing with Sif, his love for Sif. He's dealing with Karnilla, Queen of the Norns, or rather Karnilla, Queen of the Norns, who's in league with Loki, is in love with Balder. And a lot of stuff happens. Like I said, the Warriors 3 are back, and they all come back to Earth. And there's always like a back and forth between Asgard and Earth. Can't remember. There were minor things that happened in like 164, 5, 6, 7. But we get a 3-parter with 168, 169, and 170 involving Galactus' origin, which I actually did talk about in the Supervillains Classic of when I did the Silver Surfer. But they basically retold it first in Thor 169, where, of course, he came from Ta. He was Galen from Ta. His planet was dying from a plague. Then he became Galactus from a star that just imbued him with all this power. The Watcher saw this. The Watcher could have killed Galactus, could have stopped him, but he was like, no, my job is to just watch and not interfere, and Galactus is born. So we get that, which is pretty cool. I mentioned Karnilla. Karnilla has it really bad for Balder. Balder is having nightmares about Karnilla. I can just tell they're going to fall in love at some point. Loki is like, oh, fuck you, Karnilla. You say the Warriors 3, she saved the Warriors 3 and Balder, and Loki was like, fuck you. We're no longer in league with each other. So Loki takes off. The Wrecker comes back in 171. And then 172, 3, and 4, it's just, 173, Ulick comes back, and the Circus of Crime come back, which is 174, Jane comes back. Jane comes back in 172, forgot to mention that, Jane Foster. She's now in love with she's with this new guy named Jim North, Dr. Jim North, and, this dude named, what was his name? What a dumb name. His name was like Klask? Cronin Klask, this billionaire who wants to put his mind in the body of Thor. Basically, it's Frankenstein. But Jane is held hostage. It was 173, like I said, was Ulick and the Circus of Crime against Thor. And then 174, which is the last issue, he fights Crypto Man, which was like, whatever. Jasper White as Crypto Man. which is kind of sad because his mom, the villain's mom, asks Dawn to find her son because maybe she knows him. I don't know. But he does as Thor, and the kid dies eventually. I don't want to spoil it. You can probably find it in your local store, guys. This is still here. I'm putting on my glasses. Oh, here's 156, which was based on that, or rather, this cover was based on 156. I want to show the awesome artwork from that fight with Ego and Galactus. God. Okay, hold on. Because it's really fucking, wow. Fucking phenomenal artwork. Look at that right there. This is Jack Kirby, by the way. I guess I can see why he's the king, but Steranko and Adams and Colin are still my guys. But that is pretty fucking awesome. I don't know if you guys can see. Here. Trying to get in the light here. That's one. Oh, God. That again, where they do some interesting photo, whatchamacallit. This is Ego, by the way. Ego, but it might as well be like Zeus or Odin. Oh my God. And then there's one later where like Thor and the recorder are right here. Here it is. Look at this. Where they use like a photograph of something and then they just superimpose the artwork of Thor and the recorder in a double thing. Hold on a second. Shut up! Shut up! Sorry. Fucking kids are making noise out there. So yeah, so back to this. It is so fucking awesome and beautiful. Love the, like I said, the superimposition of Kirby's artwork over a photograph, and it's just satellites. It's not anything like real the way Kirby drew it. I mean, it is real, but it's not drawn by Kirby. Oh my God, and look at this. Like the Ego blasts, was this when he blasts? Oh God, okay, here. You guys let me know what you think. Right over here. I just love this one splash page with Ego just, I think that's Galactus' ship, the Visi Sphere. But I truly believe that this is where Kirby is king. And you guys can see that. I don't know. I did like a new position because it's just the sunlight. Oh, not sunlight. God, sorry guys, I'm thrown off. My neighbors here are fucking cunts. But hold on. Yeah. Oh, and this one too. Look at this one. Hold on. It's like the lighting is crazy. But yeah, again, they do the same thing here. Again, Thor's just flying down, the recorder's flying along with him. Or was this the same thing I just showed? I don't know. Oh, look at this one. Odin. Oh my God. Odin just looks so badass. Again, this is Kirby. I love it. Look at that. With his fucking big mustache. The battle be not ended. Yeah. So, and then for whatever reason, Odin goes on this quest. He tells Thor, as punishment, mind you, to go find Galactus. This is in 168, and then Galactus finds him, and then he's like, I'll tell you the story because you're worthy. Here's a nice shot of Boulder the Brave right there. Again, courtesy of Kirby. Look at that. Love it. So now, since Thor's in outer space, Boulder and the Warriors 3 decide to fight for the planet Earth, or at least New York City, in place of Thor while he's away. And then, of course, Karnilla eventually sends them back to Nornheim because they are getting their butt whooped. Hold on. And of course, Loki, being the cunt that he is, attacks Thor and tries to take the hammer in 167. What was I going to say? Oh, that's right, Zeus. Oh, and him. How could I forget? Him appears, or Adam Warlock. Pluto. I forgot to, oh my God, this was so important. Like 164, yeah. Pluto in 163, 164. Pluto, I can't believe I almost forgot this. So Pluto tricks Thor and Sif into coming into this vortex portal because he stole some nuclear research center, and he's got these mutates as his lackeys. But there's something inside the research center, turns out to be Adam Warlock as him. For those of you who may or may not remember, in Fantastic Four 66 and 67, he was created by the Enclave to be this ultra powerful being, and he escaped and went out to outer space. So anyway, it's revealed that the Watcher sent him back to Earth, put him back in the cocoon, sent him back to Earth, and he ended up in the research center, which is what Pluto is trying to destroy. And then after that storyline, 163, 164, then we have 165, 166, where Thor, Sif, and Balder investigate him. And him decides, you know what, I need a mate. So he steals Sif, he kidnaps her, and that just sends Thor over the edge. He's just like batshit fucking crazy. He's just like, whoa, my woman, she's gone. She's not yours, you know. So he has what's called the warrior madness. And for whatever reason, that is like bad. You cannot have the warrior madness like ever. You gotta like be calm, cool, not vengeful, not wrathful. And I guess Thor broke the law, but the Asgardian law, like, don't lose your shit, and he did. So anyway, that's the impetus that compels or propels Odin to send Thor to find Galactus. I don't know why I forgot that. I don't know why that escaped my mind. But that's what happened in 165, 166 with him. And then 167 was Loki. And then 168, 9, and 70 is him finding Galactus. And the rest is history. Yeah. So that's it, guys. That's To Wake a Mangog. I like this. By the way, as I showed you guys, the artwork is so much better. I read through 13 issues today, so that should tell you, I mean, besides the fact that I'm a fast reader, Stan Lee's writing is so much better, better written, very succinct, brief. There's not a lot of, useless meandering dialogue. He doesn't use every single word in the dictionary, which is good. So it's a pretty easy read. And this is par for the course with later 1960s stories. I will say I think Stan Lee enjoys writing Thor a lot, on par with Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. And yeah, I think Thor is right up there. And Kirby obviously loves drawing the battle scenes and the intergalactic space stuff. Yeah, I had a great time. And I cannot wait. Let me just pull this up right here, guys. Oh, the next one is Volume 5. I don't know if you guys see here. Let me pull this. Volume 5, The Fall of Asgard. Look at that. I love it. This is where we're going to see the end of Kirby as a penciler, and he'll be replaced by John Buscema. And also Stan Lee. Stan Lee will leave with issue 192 or 3, from what I read. This covers 175 to 194. Yeah. So 20 issues right here too. Yeah, this is the end of Lee and Kirby as we know it. And then Jerry Conway will take over with Volume 6. John Buscema, which I love. I can't wait. Hela, that bitch Hela. Yeah, covering 1970 to 1971. And again, no annuals, no crossovers with the titles. It's just 20 issues of Thor, 175 to 194. So I cannot wait to read this, guys. By the way, this is probably the third most expensive epic that I bought, guys. I kid you not. I think I spent $120 on this on Amazon. So yeah, no, I don't give a fuck, guys. Leave your comments if you guys want to say, what the fuck were you thinking? I wasn't. I just had to have this book, guys. Guys, go on Amazon and look up Volume 5 of this. They have one copy for $999, $1,000 for this, and like $200 for one copy. Actually, for two copies, I think are like $220. It's insane. I might actually take a picture of it and post it. But It's crazy, guys. But this is going to be the next book, guys. Volume 5, The Fall of Asgard. I cannot wait. I love it. I've been waiting like the last couple of weeks to read this. So this is the next one, guys. And that, my friends, this review was Volume 4, To Wake the MANGOG. Check it out. I actually, high marks for this. I forgot to mention, in 150, the first issue of this, 154, Thor has a meeting with hippies. Hold on. I loved it because first he fights these muggers, and then he fights these hippies, and these hippies are like, yeah, man, that's, right, look at these fucking losers. I hate hippies. Like Cartman, like these fucking hippies right here are giving Thor shit because Thor's trying to inspire them to like make something of their lives. And they're like, nah, man. They're like, nah, man. Look, we don't groove your kind of scene. Yeah, like if some cat's bugging the establishment, that ain't our hang up. And then Thor's like, you know what, you got, and then he challenges them to like lift Mjolnir, and of course they can't. And then yeah, he just teaches them a lesson. So anyway, I don't want to ruin it for you guys. Check it out. Get it. Volume 4. Can you guys see? To Wake the MANGOG. Arrgh. To Wake the MANGOG. That's that, guys. Okay? Oh. All right, guys. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go murder my neighbors. No, I won't. I'm actually going to watch wrestling. WWE Raws tonight. So leave your comments, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think. I read these stories and these epics, rather. I read these epics so you don't have to, but I encourage that you guys do because they are freaking awesome. Check out my collection there. All right. Hey, right over here too. Hot. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. See you probably maybe 2 or 3 days from now, depending on how fast I get through Volume 5. Who knows, guys? But I love you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.